Hey plant people, welcome. I am back for my second consecutive monthly plant favorites video. I know, I'm as surprised as you are. We're here and we are going to talk about my favorites for the month of June. It is gonna be July tomorrow when I'm filming this video, which is kind of crazy. Time just does not feel real anymore now that I'm getting super old. But we're not gonna do a super long favorites video this month because I have a couple of other videos that I'm about to start working on filming. So I'm just gonna rapid fire through the ones that are really standing out to me. And I'm gonna start with one that I would not necessarily say, like, I do love this plant. I would not say normally it's my favorite. Maybe I'll put it in right now as the beginning as like an honorable mention, but it's my, and I can't remember how to say this, Syningiana, Leuconura. Okay, we're just gonna say, yeah, this guy. You know what it is. Everybody has this plant, but it is so big. Like, okay, maybe this is not like, maybe it doesn't look like that big and crazy on the camera, but like this is really big in comparison to what it looked like last year. I feel like last year it has this other one, little dinky one over here that's having a really hard time because this monster one is taking all the light. But I feel like this leaf right here, that was like the maximum size of these leaves last year. And dang, look at this thing. It is literally perfect. This is the plant that I always talk about that I say feels like lamb's ear, which is like typically an outdoor landscaping plant, at least where I am in Georgia. And it's ultra, Sully's chewing on his tennis ball right next to me. So if you hear a weird, this tennis ball, he literally, for some reason when he bites it, it like squeezes all the air out of it and then it just goes for like 5 minutes straight. So you can imagine how fun that's been if it starts doing that. I'm gonna have to confiscate it from him. But anyway, so this one is like ultra super duper soft. It's covered in these like really velvety soft hairs and it has this like very minty cool toned green, which I am very attracted to. But I'm just really shocked at how large this plant has gotten. It is a Codex plant. If you haven't seen this plant before, it is a fairly popular plant, I feel like. So it starts looking pretty terrible winterish, and eventually I'll cut the flowers off because they look super crusty and gross. And then around this time, she's probably been growing for like a month. So where I am in Georgia, that would be like the end of April, the beginning of May is when she started growing back. And then this is, I cannot imagine her getting larger than this. Like this is monstrous for me, for what I've seen. And she does get really beautiful red blooms. So that will be the next step. So I will be excited to see those. And of course, I'll put her somewhere in a video somewhere when that happens. Next one's a philodendron, which I know is also surprising because philodendron have just, I feel like a lot of us have really just kind of fallen off the philodendron train for one reason or another. For me, it's just the growth. They grow too big and like the whole like dealing with moss poles to size them up and stuff. It's just not my cup of tea anymore. But this one is the philodendron. They call it like the philodendron, the horsehead philodendron, or the violin philodendron. It's the philodendron bipennifolium. And this is the variegated version. This one was growing for a while for me. It was doing like okay, but I honestly just think that I was neglecting it a little bit. So I cut it back because I had it had grown pretty tall, and again, like just size constraints around here. So I chopped it up, propagated it, and this is the first one. So this is the bottom cut that I have, and these were the leaves that were left, which don't look great, but they've literally been on here since I've had the plant. So like 3 years they've been on here, so it does retain leaves really well, but it started growing again. So it gave me 2 leaves. This is the first one, and it does have just kind of like that juvenile, like it doesn't have that iconic shape that this philodendron normally has, but this is its next leaf. So first of all, this variegation is crazy. It is crazy. That is so beautiful, and it's starting to get that like horse head shape. So we have some little cheeks here and a little nubby ear. So I'm thinking probably her next leaf will look more like the horse head shape. This is also a philodendron that does not need a moss pole. Like it'll size up to that like the shape that you know it as without a moss pole. I just typically put it on like some kind of bamboo stake or something until it gets too tall and I get tired of it, and then I'll chop it up again. But yeah, so this is the bottom cut. Gorgeous. And then I also have my little propagations that I did, and I stuck them in no drainage just because I've mentioned this before, but I found like my philodendron have been doing really well in no drainage, and I'm really leaning towards the ones that don't require moss poles anymore. I do have a couple. So I have like a dark lord that I have on a moss pole, my pink princess, and then my white knight. And I think that's it. I think that's all I have anymore. Oh, and a soderoy, a variegated soderoy. But I really love this one because it does not require a moss hole. So I was like, I'm going to stick it in no drainage because I've been having success with philodendron in no drainage. And it rooted up pretty much instantly. So we can see maybe, ooh, the glare. I don't know how to combat that, y'all. Just give me a break. But she's got some really good healthy roots in there. And she immediately started growing. So she started putting out all these growth points. So we've got a bunch of little growth points in here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 growth points, which is kind of bananas. I have not really considered what I'm going to do when all of these start needing like some kind of support, even if it is a bamboo pole. I may have to get like some kind of trellis to hold all of them upright, and then figuring out where to put this is going to be a challenge. But anyways, again, she's got some really gorge variegation coming through. Honestly, it kind of reminds me of the variegated silver sword. It's looking ultra minty, and it does come in kind of like more this minty color, and it would eventually fade off to this like creamy. These were some of the original leaves, and you can see on this one that shape, like the horse head shape on there. But yeah, but they do come in this kind of like minty, kind of like silver sword variegated, kind of minty teal type deal. Okay, the next one I'm going to talk about is an anthurium. And if I'm being very real, anthurium are just my favorite genus. I'm totally obsessed with them. I don't have as much interest in my other plants right now. I'm really on an anthurium craze. And I could talk about them until the cows come home. So we could have 57 anthurium in this video for favorites. But I'm not going to do that because I'm planning on doing an updated total anthurium collection whatever video, hopefully within the next few videos. That's what I'm planning on doing in the next like few days, hopefully. But, and I do have to like edit it and stuff, so I don't know exactly when that's going to come out, but it's in the works. Okay, it's in the plan. But I had to talk about this one because it put out this giant leaf, and I thought the leaf before it was giant, and I was sadly mistaken. So this is Anthurium rabbit ears. I cannot remember the exact cross. I will put it on the screen as always. But this is one that when I originally purchased it, I purchased it from a seller that I literally had like the most traumatic experience I've ever had with a seller before with. And it was just like total chaos. Absolute nightmare. And this was like in terrible condition. Everything in that box was infested with spider mites, and the leaves totally died back, and it's gone through like a lot of turmoil. So it did finally start growing back. I just recently uppotted it. It had given me this leaf, which was its first leaf since it had grown back, which actually looked really good. Like you can see this is a fairly large leaf. So I was like super surprised when this came out. And then I put this out. Holy guacamole. Like that is a really, really large leaf, like in comparison to the last one. So I'm like, how big is this thing gonna get? Because I did not do my due diligence to figure that out prior to purchasing this. I did not realize this was such a large thing. I mean, it's fine, you know, like we'll make it work, but it was, you know, it's a little bit of a surprise over here. But I absolutely adore this one. I love the texture. It's got that like super leathery, kind of like a blue-green, really prominent green veining. It's just gorgeous. And of course the ears are super cute. Where its name comes from, rabbit ears. Definitely looks like a big bunny head to me. But yeah, she's super cute, and I am thrilled that she's growing back. I guess this will be another interesting update. Like, how big is this thing gonna get? Okay, we got 4 left. Next up, I'm gonna do a weird one, and then we're gonna end with 3 Alicasia because I haven't really been talking about Alicasia a whole lot recently. I do still love Alicasia. They are just, we're in this constant cycle of me really enjoying them and them like trying to ruin my life, and then, you know, they come back and they're like, I've changed, and we go back through it and we're doing great, and then everything goes downhill again. I'm sure many of you know what I'm talking about. So we're gonna leave those last. One of them is one that I've not talked about before. It is fairly recent. I have mostly not talked about it because I didn't want it to like totally melt after I'd gotten it, and then me just be reminded about what a failure I am for growing that. And so, okay, we're gonna talk about this one first. This is a, what are you? Your Antherium medium. This is the variegated one. If you like weird plants, this is the plant for you, because this is the weirdest looking plant. Like, what is with these leaves? I love it. Love it, love it. Gives me the super crusty Hoya clemensiorum type vibe. Like, dude, the texture of these leaves, it's very much like blister variegation on Anthurium, where it like mutates the leaf shape because it's like so crazy. But look at this, and you know, I'm so thrilled that this is continuing to put out consecutive leaves when I have it on this trellis. So this is the trayleaf trellis, and I love this thing. I am, like I said, very surprised that this thing is continuing, because these are notorious for putting out like crazy runners over and over and over and not wanting to put out leaves. And look at this, we got leaf, 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 leaf. Top one is ultra variegated and much smaller. So I don't know what the dealio with that is, but it is actually, I don't know if you'll be able to see, but it is actually, yeah, you definitely won't be able to see, but it's holding on to the plank. Like, this is a cedar plank, and I guess it's really into that. But yeah, total vibe, looks great. It's like such a cute little trellis. I do really like these trellises. I will link them in the description if anyone's interested. Trayleaf did send these to me for free. Love them. They're my fellow Atlanteans. So yeah, if you're in the market for some cute trellises, I would definitely check them out. But anyways, yeah, so the variegation on this is crazy. Very blistery looking, crazy texture. I mean, look at this leaf. What is this? Like, what is the dealio? Like, that is, I don't know if that can be classified as a leaf. Maybe there's like a different anatomy term for what this would be called, because that, I don't even know what to say about that. And then we've got our little dinky ultra variegated leaf up here. She's really cute. She's really pretty. Got some balm variegation, but yeah, she's small and she's super contorted because of the really high variegation, I'm assuming. She might be a little bit soft because that is the newest leaf, so we'll see. But yeah, super interesting plant. If you want something that's just different, really like unique and interesting to look at, I think this is probably the plant for you. Okay, and then we're gonna end on my Alicasia. These, I would say these are probably my 3 favorite Alicasia in my collection right now, period. The first one is my Alicasia Watsoniana dark form, and this one had given me a lot of issues. I had it just in regular soil. I have it in no drainage right now. I did have it in regular soil with drainage, and she just totally died back to the chalk, totally melted. I didn't even think it was going to make it, because most of them, when they get to that point, a lot of times just eventually the like rhizome will just turn to mush over time. But she didn't. She has put out 2 leaves since being put in no drainage, and I was going to swap her out of this and just put her back into soil because I didn't know if she was liking it, but she started putting out some really healthy looking roots down there. So maybe the area that she's in is getting more light now that I've moved her to, so maybe that kind of works together. But this is the first leaf that she gave me. Gorge. Love the texture, the color. We got some purple backs. Love that. This is the next one. Beautiful. These do get really large, super dark, kind of like jewel shaped type Alicasia. Beautiful. Then we have got my Alicasia Princeps, which is Alicasia Purple Cloak. Alicasia Purple Cloak Princeps, I think, is the full name for this one. This one has done so well this time. This is the second time that I've purchased this plant. The first time, immediately mushed. No saving it. This time, also put it in no drainage. It is super root bound in here. I don't know if you can see because of the glare, but I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything until it starts going downhill or these roots start looking like mushy and gross, because it is living La Vida Loca in here and it is doing fantastic. We have got the first leaf that it gave me. Dude, look at these ears. Like, that shape Incredible, incredible. And then it gave me this leaf, which is significantly smaller. Did randomly have sport variegation on one of the lobes, which was an interesting development. So we will forgive her for being super tiny. But look at this leaf it just put out. Ooh, she's sizing up. She is sizing up. Yes, ma'am. And the back, the veins on the back. Whew. Sheesh. That is gorgeous. Love this one. 10 out of 10. I don't know in terms of difficulty because like I said, the first time that I got it, immediately mushed. This time it seems to be doing like not a care in the world. It's just growing super well. So maybe it is a pretty easy one. And the first one that I got was just a bad specimen, or maybe it's a difficult one and the one that I have here is just a good specimen. I don't know. If you have this Alocasia, comment your experience, please, for anyone else that may be interested. But yeah, love her. Love her shape. Love the coloration, the lobes, the veining on the back. Amazing. Okay, last one. And this definitely is my favorite Alocasia in my entire collection. This is the one that I did not talk about because I was scared that it was going to melt. And it is a mutation of the Alocasia Regal Shields, which is why I felt comfortable trying this one out, because the Alocasia Regal Shields is like such a fantastic grower. Like it is so easygoing. It grows super duper fast. No cares. Only vibes. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to give this one a shot because it's very uncommon. So I was like terrified to get it because I would be devastated if I melted this. But yeah, it seems to be doing fantastic. Like very typical Regal Shields experience. But this is the Alocasia Grim Reaper. And I got this from Top Notch Tropical, which this is my second time purchasing from them. Phenomenal experience. Love them so much. They have the coolest plants. If you don't follow them on Instagram, definitely recommend following them just because they post things that are just like I've never seen before, and I love that. I love seeing like different stuff that I don't know about. I don't know to look up or to follow people that are like the specific genus or that specific genus or whatever. But this one is amazing. So it's got these really funky leaves. So again, this is a mutation of the Alocasia Regal Shields. They grow these from corm, from their mother plant, and it looks crazy. So it's giving kind of like venom-esque, I don't know. It's got super duper contorted, ruffled edges. Do keep in mind this is a very juvenile plant. I will put a photo of this on the screen of what this looks like when it actually matures. It has given me one leaf, which is this one, since I got it. And it has got another leaf that is about to start coming out. And yeah, she's just been vibing. Did not drop any of her leaves that she had when she was in transit, which were these two. One of them had just emerged. So it had like a brand new leaf when it came. And it was a little bit floppy when I got it. But once I watered it and put it in light with like some decent humidity, she perked right back up. Something that I really love about this one is the backs of the leaves. I hope that you can see that. Like the veination and the way it just has this like crazy texture. It really does. It reminds me of a lot of like the venom class plants. Ooh, a variegated version of this would be crazy. It would be crazy. I don't know if that exists. But yeah, really interesting. It has that like upright, kind of cupped, ruffled, funky look to it. And yeah, I'm just totally obsessed with plants that are like very obscure and weird and non-conventional. You know, they're different. They're not like all the other plants. That's my vibe. Oh, maybe you can see the texture on this one a little bit better. This is the older leaf. Can you see that? Will you focus? How crazy is that? Man. So cool. I cannot wait for this one to start having corms. I would love to have like a couple of these in the same pot, and then also have a backup plant just in case something happens, something goes downhill, like we're okay. I'm not gonna have a nervous breakdown. But yeah, absolutely gorgeous. I don't know who else sells this. I know for sure Top Notch Tropicals offers them occasionally because they have a large, like I said, a large mother plant, and they grow these from corm and offer them on their website. And I was literally there like just in the nick of time. I think I got the last one that they had restocked. So yeah, I'm very, very excited to watch this one get big. Sorry, that was super gross. If you heard that, I'm sure Sully is trying to eat a toy or something. Anywho, thank you so much for stopping by to hang out for this month's favorites video. If you like this video and you want to see more content like this from me, please like, please subscribe. It means so much to me and it helps the channel so much. And I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.